One. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about something that might hit a little too close to home for some of you. You see, there's a man out there who feels like he has nobody. He's walking through life, but he's not really living. No friends, no support, no one to share his victories or his defeats. Maybe that man is you. And if it is, I need you to understand this: you are not alone. You might feel like you're by yourself, but the truth is you're never truly alone unless you allow yourself to be. Two. Now, I'm not here to tell you that everything is going to be easy. Life is tough. It's unfair. People let you down. They leave you. They disappoint you. But that doesn't mean it's over for you. That's not the end of your story. No, my friend, that's the beginning. The beginning of you figuring out who you are. And trust me, that's a blessing. The man who has no friends is often the man who has everything to gain, because now he's got the opportunity to build himself from the ground up. Three. Let me tell you something. I've been there. I know what it feels like to stand in a crowd and still feel alone. I know what it feels like to reach out for help and get nothing back. But you see, the world doesn't owe you anything. Life doesn't owe you friends. You've got to earn them, and it starts with earning yourself. The greatest friendship you can have is with yourself. It's about understanding that no matter who is around you or who is not, you are enough. Four. That's where it begins, right there. You've got to believe you are enough. Stop waiting for validation from others. Don't wait for someone else to tell you you're good enough, because guess what? You already are. You have every tool, every strength, and every ability inside you to move forward and create the life you want. When you understand that, you'll start to attract the people who are meant to be in your life. But it all starts with you. Five. You know, there's this idea that we need people to succeed, that we need a crowd around us to validate our existence. But let me tell you something: greatness doesn't come in numbers. It comes in strength. It comes in determination. It comes in resilience. A man with no friends is a man who must face the world on his own. And that is a blessing, not a curse. When you face challenges on your own, you discover things about yourself that you never knew existed. You tap into a well of strength that only comes from within. Six. And let me tell you something about strength. It's not about how many people you have around you. It's about how much strength you have within. A man with no friends is the man who is forced to dig deep into his soul to find the courage to go on. And when he does that, when he uncovers that hidden strength, that's when he becomes unstoppable. You see, the world might try to break you, but it's that inner strength that will make sure you never break. Seven. Now, some of you are probably thinking, but Denzel, I don't want to be alone. I want friends. I want people to support me. I get it. I understand that need for connection. But here's the thing, real friends, the kind of friends you need in your life are the ones who are there not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. Real friends are there to push you, to challenge you, to make you better. They don't just sit back and let you settle for mediocrity. If you want those kinds of friends, you have to be the kind of person who attracts them. You have to become someone who is worth being around. That means you have to show up for yourself every single day. You have to be the kind of person who does what's right even when nobody's looking. You've got to be honest, loyal, and kind, not because you expect something in return, but because that's the person you are. And let me tell you, the right people will find you when you start living like that. 9, but don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you to chase after people. I'm not telling you to bend over backwards for others just to earn their friendship. No, what I'm saying is this: when you build yourself, when you become the best version of yourself, people will gravitate towards you. And the right people will stick around. You see, the man with no friends is not defined by his lack of people, but by his ability to stand tall, even in solitude. 10, You've got to understand a man with no friends is not a man without value. He's a man who is learning to define his own worth. He's a man who is learning to be okay with his own company, who is learning to rely on himself. And once you learn that, once you can truly be at peace with who you are, you won't just survive, you'll thrive. 11, I want to remind you of something important. You're not meant to walk through life alone. You're meant to walk through it with purpose. And that purpose comes from within. It's about finding your mission, your reason for being here. Because once you know your purpose, once you understand why you were put on this earth, the people who are meant to walk with you will find their way into your life, but you've got to do the work first. 12. You see, the journey isn't easy. There will be days when you question everything. There will be days when it feels like the world has turned its back on you, but let me tell you, that's when you've got to keep going. That's when you've got to dig deeper. When everyone else walks away, that's when you've got to find the strength to keep moving forward. And trust me, that strength will carry you farther than you ever imagined. 13. You might feel isolated right now. You might feel like there's nobody there for you. But I want you to understand this isolation is a powerful teacher. It's in those quiet moments that you learn who you really are. It's in the silence that you hear the voice inside you telling you that you're more than enough. You've got a purpose, and no amount of loneliness can take that away. 14. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need others to feel complete. But the truth is, you were created to be whole on your own. When you learn to be whole within yourself, you attract the people who are meant to be a part of your journey. And when you've built something real, when you've built your life on a foundation of purpose and strength, those people will appreciate you for who you truly are. 15. So to the man who feels like he has no friends, I say this: don't let your circumstances define you. Don't let the fact that you're walking alone make you feel like you're less than anyone else. You've got everything you need within you. It's time to stand tall. It's time to rise up. And the moment you start believing that, the moment you start living like that, you'll find that everything else falls into place. 16. There's power in solitude. There's power in standing alone. It forces you to look inward, to face your fears, your doubts, and your insecurities. And when you face them, when you overcome them, you'll come out stronger on the other side. You'll be the person you were always meant to be. And that, my friend, is when the right people will start to notice. But you've got to become the person worth noticing first. 17. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't go from feeling isolated to feeling surrounded by people in a day. But if you stay committed to growing, if you stay committed to your purpose, to your truth, you will find your tribe. And I promise you, those people will be more valuable than any friend you could have ever had before. Because they'll be the ones who see you for who you truly are, flaws and all, and they'll stand by you because of it. 18. In closing, let me say this: don't wait for the world to give you friends. Don't wait for the world to validate you. Be the person who doesn't need anyone to tell him he's worthy. Be the person who knows his own value, who knows his own strength, and who moves forward with confidence and grace. Because when you do that, when you stand in your own power, the right people will come, and they'll come to stay. 19. So get up, get moving. Stop waiting for things to be perfect. Life is never going to be perfect, but it is what you make of it. You have the power to change your life. You have the power to build the future you want. And it starts with you. So stand tall, stand proud, and never, ever let anyone tell you that you can't do it on your own. 20. Remember this: you are enough.